Yeah, I think so. It was probably played by two sides who looked a little down on confidence. I think both sides created some opportunities, but when you're not confident, you're just a little bit hesitant to throw that pass, or the last pass isn't what it should be. And it was probably played. I thought we got better as the game wore on. I thought we started to grow. And yeah, that was probably the difference. We sort of grew from a couple of tries, and we were able to sort of keep them out for a long period of time, and they scored a couple of tries there at the end. But I think for the majority of the game, we grew, and they sort of stayed where they were.
Well, some of the big moments in defence, like Preston did a great tackle, which dislodged the ball, and there was a three-man tackle.
Yeah, I think so. I know it's very hard to defend where we're sitting on the competition table, but there's been effort like that all year. There's often in these situations you can come away from training thinking you know what's going to happen in the game, because training can become a bit of a chore. But I can honestly say that the mood of the players has been tremendous, and it's made in a really tough season, it's made the job of the staff a lot easier. They just keep turning up, wanting to train, wanting to play, and wanting to get better. And that's why I'm not too worried. It hurts where we're sitting, but I'm not too worried where we're sitting.
It's on Dominic Payroux, after just a handful of games, put up some magnificent efforts, particularly in defence in that first half.
Yeah, he's a very good young player. He's been in our system for a bit now. He's really grabbed his chance. He's only a young boy. I think he's only about 22 years of age, but he's only had his half a dozen games or so, and he's been one of our better players each week. And I think the more he plays there, the better he's going to be.
Some nervous moments towards the end, John, after 24-6 with about 25 to go.
Yeah. They can, they can score points. There's no doubt about that. And I think they got there was one set there where we sort of kept them to the fifth tackle, and they got 6 to go and got a penalty, and then scored a try on the back of that, and got a bit of confidence out of that. But it was nice the way we, I suppose it got very hairy there, but we did. We kept playing football. We got ourselves up the other end, and in the end we got a penalty to put them away by 8. So that was nice.
I know you scored soon after, but there was a forward pass ruling there. Stevie Michael should have scored. Must have been tearing the hair out of that one.
Yeah, you see them every week. I say they tell us that the rule is to watch it out of the hands, and if you watch it out of the hands, it went back. They talk about that rule all the time, and we see those types of tries scored every week. Without fail, but sometimes they pull them up, sometimes they don't.
John, the player cabinet, it's getting a bit short on players. You got any players to come back in for that last year?
Not really. That's the thing. Most of them are long term. We're all been. We've got Kane Lawton, who may be okay next week. Benny Ridge would play at a pinch. We didn't use Clinton Torpy tonight as a precaution. We more or less had to sit. Clinton put his hand up to say he'd play, but I was a little bit worried about his health after what happened last week. He was 100% cleared, but it was I wasn't 100% confident of putting him out there. I'd like to get him. He didn't train a lot this week, so I'd like to get another week's train under his belt, and if he gets through that, we'll be able to use him next week.
You said you're not that worried about where you are on the table. It must be good to get off the bottom, though.
Yeah. Oh no. It probably took me the wrong way. It definitely hurts where we're sitting on the table. It's that hurts more than I can probably put into words here. But the point I was making was that the players have made it. Made the job a lot easier. I've been in that situation before where you sit languishing at the bottom, and players come in kicking stones, and it can make for a long week and a long weekend. The weeks have been. They've been buzzing. They've been confident going in every game, and that's made the season. Whilst it's been hurting, it's made it a little bit more enjoyable than what it could have been.
Is there a big focus now? It must have been a big focus to get off the bottom. Is it something you talk about, or is it something you don't like talking about?
I don't think anyone's ever mentioned the word. We definitely talk about getting away from where we're sitting, but the dreaded word's never been mentioned. But we want to make it hard for the Tigers, and if we can knock them out of the 8, I'd love to knock them out of the 8. If we can do that and knock Parramatta over and finish the season on a high, that'd be tremendous.
Without getting too far out of ourselves, that Parramatta game could mean a lot now. Is that pretty pleasing, given the players you have departing, that to get off the bottom and play Parramatta, that game's going to have a fair bit of meaning to it now?
Yeah, well, mate, I'm hoping to beat the Tigers. You know, so that'll make that game. You know, not playing for anything. I think if we can knock the Tigers over, that'd sit us clear of where we are, where we have been sitting. So that's our main focus at the moment. You know, and we've got a good record against the Tigers, and we enjoy playing down there.
Preston, you've got 2 couple of games to go. You really seem to be enjoying yourself at the moment.
Yeah, I am. Like you said, there's 2 games left, so I'm going to make the best of it. As Cardi said, we'd like to win both those games. It's going to be tough going down to Tiger Town, but the boys are looking forward. Like Cardi said, we've had some good weeks. The spirit's been great, and I think that's part of my job, to come in and make sure the boys are up. Looking forward to playing during the week, and looking forward to playing on the weekend. So, it's been great, and 2 games to go. It'd be good to get 2 wins.
Pretty much felt the walls shaking when you belted out the song just before. Is it all the more sweet on a home turf victory tonight?
I can't even remember the last time we won up there, to be honest. But yeah, no, it's great to sing the song. We sung it at down at Toyota Park a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of us almost forgot the words. It's been that long, but no, it's always good. We had a few people in there, a few sponsors looking around. It was a good feeling.
Preston, any tries a good try, but seeing young Payru and Matthews as well get across for their first tries in NRL would have been an extra little boost out there during the game.
No, I think Will's, he played 4 years here now, Cardi.
Yeah, he's been here.
And that's his first try in NRL, so yeah, I'm pretty happy for him. And Dom, I think it was his fourth or fifth game, and for him to get his try so early, I know they were both really happy about it, and I was happy for them.
5 from 5 with the boot, mate. The last one was pretty easy, but there's some that weren't. Must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does. Cardi asked me if I'd take the kicker last week, and I said, yeah, I will. And, without doing any training, I missed 2 from 4 last week, but I did a bit of training this week, a bit of practice this week, and got some new boots, and 5 from 5.
It's not a long lead up, is it, to the conversion that you've got?
No, I don't know why guys take so long, to be honest. It's just a matter of finding your spot and feeling comfortable, really. The goalpost's not going to move.
Cronk last week, is that something that you've identified as a problem? Like he seems to catch them all right at training, just another bit of a lapse during the game.
Yeah, it's probably like the first grade's just so much quicker. He's only had a handful of games there. Yeah, I've watched him play in the under-20s at fullback most of the year, and haven't seen him put one down. I think it's just coping with the speed of the game. We sort of intended to shift him up to 5'8" at some stage and put Zillman back just to see how we went at 5'8", but at that point we were about to do it. They scored and the game got a little bit close, so we didn't do it. But I have full faith and confidence in him. He works as hard on his game as anyone. He'll be there on Monday catching high balls, I'm sure.
Anthony and Frankie's 100th game. I think you made the point before the game that he's a bloke you've really missed this year.
Yeah, he's the sort of player that needs football to play his best football. Buff, he generally, he's always needed 4 or 5 games, and he just hasn't been able to get that run on of football. We've had to use him in the front row pretty regularly, which can be tough when you haven't played a lot of football. But that sort of, he never complains. He never whinges, and he didn't ever wants to come off the field. You can see him. That sometimes he's struggling for gas, but he keeps pushing through it. And yeah, it's just been unfortunate. He's had sort of 3 games in injury and 3 games in injury, and we just haven't been able to get the best out of him this year. But he's had a couple of games back now, and he's going to finish on a high.
Clinton Torby put his hand up on the bench any time and say, I really want to go on.
No, I didn't. I did. Like I said, he wouldn't have been there if the medical staff didn't clear him. I was just concerned that he hadn't had any training under duress, and what happened to him on the field last week was it's not something you want to see. And so it was. Whilst it was a minimum chance, it can happen at any time. It's only a very minimal chance that it can happen. It was just with the game in our keeping, I just didn't want to risk him.